everyone, it's Cathy Zielske back with another installment of Easy with me, CZ. Today I have a very clean and simple and understated sympathy card. Of course, it's always a sad occasion usually when we are sending these out, but I like to keep some on hand for when the occasion arises. Hopefully this card will inspire you to keep it very simple, so let's get started with making the card project. The inspiration for this card project today was really this leaf die set. I loved the big leaf and I thought it would make a beautiful sympathy card. I have this large Clean Line Excel stamp set along with some matte gold cardstock, a little embossing powder, some inks, and I've got my little blender brushes here as well. So a few basic supplies to create this card. Let's begin. The first thing I'm going to do is trace a quick outline of this leaf shape onto some Neenah Solar White Classic Crest in the 110 pound. I just want to create some boundaries for ink blending. And then I'm just going to use some Distress inks, load up my brush, and just create kind of a messy blended background. This is not meant to be pristine ink blending. This is all about getting some color to go behind my leaf. So I'm laying it down. I was really heavy on the outside edge and I thought, is this going to smooth out? But the thing is, it does. So I'm bringing in my second color, which is Carved Pumpkin. And I did pull 3 colors, but in the end, I'm only going to use 3. I just decided to limit them. And the third color is Mustard Seed. So I placed that down inside my messy outline shape. And that's when I was thinking, yeah, you probably don't need the green. You can always dial it back, right? So I went back over with a little more of my orange just so that I could kind of get that transition a little bit nicer, and then just filled in with the mustard seed. Very simple. Then once I had that down, I just taped that leaf die into place for die cutting. Popped it right onto my platform and going to run it through. I went back and forth a few times just to get a nice clean cut because my hope was to keep everything together, and that's just a little tip for time saving, which I'm going to share with you now. It stayed in place and it looked great, so while the die cut machine was out, I'm going to cut another one from white and one from the matte gold cardstock that I have. I flipped this over, everything stayed into place, and I decided to take some Post-it tape and just put it in strategic places on the back side to hold all of these pieces together. Initially, I thought I would be popping this up, but either way, I just didn't want to have to paper piece anything to fill in with color, and look at how easily that pops out. So then I'm going to take spray adhesive, add it to the back of both the white leaf and the gold leaf to build up my dimension. I spray in a little box off camera, and I always hold my breath so I don't breathe in spray adhesive, but just going to wiggle this right into place. So this is the second layer of dimension, giving that nice outline. And then I'll finish it with the matte gold cardstock. And matte gold, I think it's kind of an interesting name that we call it matte gold because it's actually got a gorgeous shine to it and it die cuts beautifully. All right, I'll press that down and let everything adhere and move on. For my greeting, I have my large Sorry. I love this stamp set because they really are oversized greetings with a really clean and simple font, so they don't draw too much attention. They're not super ostentatious, and I love that, but yet they're large enough to really make a visual statement. I'm stamping it down with the Versamark. I'm going to sprinkle on my antique gold powder. This is my favorite gold powder from Simon Says Stamp. Get a nice coating on there. And then I'll brush off any excess powder that's stuck using my little angled shader brush. These are great brushes for this very task. I'll get my heat tool hot and melt that powder until it is shiny gold goodness. Looking good. All right, next, with the coordinating die, I'll cut out the greeting. Now I brought my MISTI back to kind of create the arrangement because I decided to stamp the sub-greeting just right onto the card base. I want to keep this very simple and clean. So this is kind of a one-layer card. I mean, I've got a few things going on there, but I didn't want any other panels. So I'm just stamping that sub-greeting right onto my folded card base. And I'll sprinkle on my powder here, right? Same gold powder. I thought about doing like a little strip, but I wanted this to be simple. I'll brush away the extra powder that stuck and quickly melt it. Now this did warp a little bit, so I set this aside under a heavy book just for about 10 minutes, which really flattened it out. Kind of came back to my arrangement. I want to show you I have a thin foam square and regular foam squares. These come in a multi-pack, and sometimes you need different dimensions, right? And here's why I'm glad I have the tape, because I'm not popping it up. I'm just putting some glue, right onto the back of the leaf to hold it in place, and then it's not going to seep through because the tape is there. Post-it tape, who knew? I'm wiggling that right into place, pressing that down, and then I'll take the backers off of all of the foam squares. Again, use my liquid glue just to have a little bit of wiggle room for making sure that the big greeting is straight. And that is my finished Sympathy card project. I really like the idea of a bold size of greeting, right? Something that's large paired with something simple but colorful. I think this packs a really strong design punch and would be an appropriate card to send to anyone experiencing a loss. Thanks so much for watching today. Be sure to subscribe to the Simon YouTube channel, and we'll see you back here soon.